Hi, I'm Mike from the Rural Montana family. So this is where we left off yesterday, towing the kids behind the boat on the tube and wearing them out. So we did not plug in at the cabin at all, and we are driving back today with the Bolt. Let's go. So it's time to go home. It's Sunday now. The car's been basically sitting here since yesterday. We took a little drive just down the road, about a mile or so, and back. And now we gotta get ready to go home. It's nice and toasty around here, so it's 102 degrees. Battery coolant's 87, battery average temperature 82, and obviously cabin AC is going, using about 3600 watts right now. State of charge is 65.3, but we only got about 100 miles to go. It shows a max of 185, average 157, and minimum 128, so shouldn't be a problem to cover the 100 miles. So far we've driven a total of 105.7 miles, and we average 3.7 miles per kilowatt hour. So let's get going. We're home, no problem with basically one full charge. We got plenty left. Got 42 miles minimum, 52 miles average, or 61 miles max left. Not bad at all. We drove 197.2 miles total, and we averaged 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour. This came down from about 3.9 miles per kilowatt hour, but we had heavy rainstorms pouring down on the way home. Also, we had lots of winds, and so that messed us up a little. If the weather would have stayed the same nice as it was coming up to the lake, then we would probably still be at 3.9, possibly even higher. So it's too bad it got super rainy, and so yeah, that obviously doesn't help with the miles. Now let's look at this here. 91%, so this big area right here, this was used for driving and accessories. And then the little area right there, that is climate settings, 9%. Obviously there was no battery conditioning since it was plenty warm. But the 9% for the climate settings is about the same amount that was used in the wintertime for driving. It was always around about 9-10% for climate control in the wintertime too. So that is kind of interesting to see. It seems like the air conditioning would use a little bit less than the heater, but it uses quite a lot in the beginning until it comes down to a set temperature. So right now the cabin AC still uses 1130 watt, which is not too much, but it is kind of weird. So as soon as I am at 71 here, let's go to 72. And now let's see here. Now it reduced the cabin AC. So if I go 1 degree up, that's about 300 watts less. But now look what happened. All of a sudden the cabin heat comes on. And I just changed it by 1 degree. So that is kind of weird. I think it acts way too fast. It shouldn't just jump and put 3,000 watts, now 2,300 watts. It's going back down, but look, the cabin AC revved up to cool it back down, and whatever it's heating, I guess. I don't know, it's kind of weird. So, and that's just by 1 degree difference. Now the heater is down to 399. And I just went 1 degree up. Now the heater went off. But therefore, we drew quite a bit of power, and that's kind of weird. So I'm wondering if we would monitor that throughout the whole trip. Oh, there's the heater back on. See, I mean, does this jump up and down like this the whole time? I did not monitor it the whole time. I know in the wintertime, when I looked at it, I never seen the cabin AC come on. But here I seen this already on this trip here a couple times where the heater will come on, and that's just 1 degree up or down. So let's bring this back down here. Let's go down to 71, and let's see here, and now the cabin heat is gone again. Oh, there it popped up again. So I'm not sure why it really would need cabin heat at all. It's fluctuating quite a bit. I think this is something that GM could do better. There certainly should not be cabin heat. If we look at ambient, it shows 74. We're choosing 71. I don't know, it seems a little weird. So overall, with the climate settings, I think that could be done better by GM. We had it on auto basically the whole time until we came home, and then when I started filming, I had to bring the blower down so you could hear me. But I think they could do better on that and probably make the car more efficient with different climate settings, as we used 9% for climate settings, just like in the wintertime. Go check out the wintertime driving videos that I have, and you'll notice they're around 10% as well. But we still got pretty good miles here. 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour is pretty good. Wintertime was roughly a mile less, from like 2.6 to 2.9 miles per kilowatt hour. So it's done overall pretty good. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. The Bolt performed great again. We went to visit our friends and we were there, and they knew that we stopped at the charger, and they asked, well, where did you have to stop to charge? And I told them, I had to tell them and explain them that I didn't have to charge. I just wanted to go see if the charger is working. And they were kind of, yeah, whatever, you're just saying that. And but obviously we had over max 300 miles of range when we started here. But we put now 200 miles on. We got 25% left, which would be another 50 miles according to this. So we could have gotten about 250 miles of range, and I think that's about what it had as an average when we started. So it was pretty accurate overall. So it worked out pretty darn good. If we look at here, we traveled, since we charged, we traveled 108 miles and we used 31 kilowatt hours. That's since we charged in Polson. So that all these settings actually reset at the time. So that's not for the whole trip here. This is since we charged. For some reason this always says since last full charge, but it's kind of misleading. Full is not 100%. Full is a possible setting you have. So if you set it to 50%, it considers that a full charge. So, and while I was trying to charge in Polson, and was playing around with this whole thing here too a little bit, that's when this reset. So it only has 108 miles on here, and so obviously we used more than the 31 kilowatts total, but still we got 25% left according to that. Let's look here, and we can see state of charge raw is, let me get this here a little better, 26.4. So this is an interesting thing. For the first time this shows 25, but we have 26.4, which is something that hardly ever happens. And I think this is because the actual raw state of charge dropped below 25. But then we came here to home and we parked, we stopped the car, and the load on the battery dropped, which basically made this go up again, okay? Because the load dropped, that means we can see here the voltage, 342. So that voltage probably was lower as we were driving. So the car then assumed we have less state of charge, but then we stopped, the loads are gone, the air conditioning is turned down some, and that voltage came up, and that brought the actual state of charge up, but the display stayed down. So that's the first time that I've seen the Chevy Bolt actually show less on this display here than it actually is. So that's the first time ever. Usually it's the other way around, and we've seen that on this trip several times. But like I said, it performed great. No issues driving whatsoever. Car did well again, and we're happy with it. Oh, there's another funny thing again. Look at this. Here we go. Cabin heat 199, cabin AC 1129, and we're set to 71. It is 73 outside. Again, that is pretty funny how it does that. I think it's overreacting, or if you want to call it that. It's going way too fast between heat and cold and trying to mix it together or whatever. It's trying to achieve that perfect temperature. It may also have to do with the humidity. It is relatively humid right now. So it was just raining. We had some thunderstorms, and so humidity is relatively high, and so it may try to balance air conditioning and heater so that it brings in a decent temperature that is acceptable to us, but still remove as much humidity as possible. I think that's what's going on, but I think it's jumping around quite a bit, and I don't know, maybe it could be done better by not using the heat at all and just maybe cycling the air conditioner a little more, which may increase humidity a little inside the cabin. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me that I think we could save a little more. If you happen to know more about this by any chance, if for some reason you know why they do this, I just know this cabin heat's now 1,000 watts. That's pretty high. Well, if you know more about it, why Chevy does it this way, or if that's every car that does it this way, every electric car, I don't know. It seems a little high. I would think they could just cycle the air conditioner less. Don't know, but now cabin heat went back to 0. Interesting. Now it starts coming back up again. So I think that probably could be improved, at least that it wouldn't be as chumpy. It's also like if you turn the air conditioning completely off, you can see your max range or your average. All three of them will go up. And then if you turn it on and you turn the heater on or the AC, whatever comes on, your ranges will jump down immediately, even though you're only going to go for a certain amount of time. And then this will usually even out a little bit, unless you're in super extreme cold or super extreme heat. Then obviously they will keep going, but I think it's a little bit jumpy. So I in my opinion, for a 5-minute drive, maybe it should stay the same. And if then the heater and the air conditioner are still going full blast, then drop. But in the meantime, maybe the heater or air conditioner has come down, so that then it could just maybe drop to where it needs to be, or maybe it actually is already there. So I think the gasometer, if you want to call it that, jumps a little bit too fast, just like here with cabin heat, cabin AC. Now we're at 1,000 watts and 1135 on the AC. So it's like, it jumps around quite a bit. It's a little jumpy. So maybe this could be improved and make this car even more efficient, but it's done great on this trip. And so we did our 200-mile trip here. We didn't plug in the car while we were there. We got in and out of the car several times while it was parked there. And we didn't go slow. We did go the speed limit. Even on the interstate, we went 82 miles an hour. So we just drove as normal as any other car, not trying to save anything whatsoever, and it did good. So the Bolt, especially this 2020 Chevy Bolt here, it can go the distance. There's no doubt about it. I would assume the 17s to 19s can do the distance too. I know they're a little bit different. They do a little bit more battery conditioning in the wintertime, so you may lose a little more distance there. But some of you that have a 17 to 19 Bolt may get lucky, and I hope for all of you that have one that GM is going to put a new battery pack in your car, because you definitely deserve it. We don't want any more fires. I think GM should have bit the bullet right off the bat and put new battery packs in before they have more fires. That's just how it's supposed to be, in my opinion. Safety first. So, and I hope for all of you that have one that you are going to get a new battery pack. That would be really cool. You would get full range again. I don't know, you might even get more range than you had, or that the car ever was rated at initially. That would be even better. That would be super cool. Chevy Bolt is a cool car, especially for the price. I think it's a really great car. So in any event, please give us a thumbs up for this video. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you get to see when we have a new video out. And thank you for watching. Goodbye.